Hey everybody, this is 365 Days of Movies. This is where I rate my top 365 movies. One movie a day for a year. So, with that, let's get into this movie. Number 288, Gangs of New York, rating 7.13, released in 2002, directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, Cameron Diaz, Jim Broadbent, John C. Reilly, Henry Thomas, and Brendan Gleeson. Amsterdam Vallon is a young Irish immigrant released from prison. He returns to Five Points seeking revenge against his father's killer, William Cutting, a powerful anti-immigrant gang leader. He knows that revenge can only be attained by infiltrating Cutter's inner circle. Amsterdam's journey becomes a fight for personal survival to find a place for the Irish people in 1860s New York. Now, this is a great movie, and everyone should see it if they haven't seen it already. It's Daniel Day-Lewis, who hands down is probably the greatest actor thus far, followed up closely by Leonardo DiCaprio. And at this point in time, I think people were well aware of how great Daniel Day-Lewis was. And some people were well aware of how great Leonardo DiCaprio was. Obviously, he was well known, but his range of acting, I don't think everyone necessarily put him in that category of a Daniel Day-Lewis or, a Robert De Niro and the top tier of actors. My first inclination that he was one of the greatest actors ever is oddly enough, was that he was in Growing Pains when I was a teenager, and I remember when he was introduced, and I'm like, holy crap, this kid is like acting circles around everybody in this show. And I just assumed that at the very least he would be an important actor, and maybe he would be a top-tier actor. And it turns out he is a top-tier actor, and he's one of my favorites, as well as Daniel Day-Lewis. However, I don't necessarily check out every Daniel Day-Lewis movie. I don't necessarily check out every Leonardo DiCaprio movie either. But I know that if I'm going to watch one of their movies, there's going to be a great performance in it. And that doesn't diminish the others that are in this movie, but these two are definitely heavy hitters, and seeing them come to odds, as well as the whole backdrop of 1860s New York as it's transitioning into, I guess, modernity, and you see the elements that built New York. And I would definitely love to see more movies of cities that I'm interested in and how they were built. Obviously, there's quite a few movies that you can see about how, Chicago, the Chicago prior to modernity. Los Angeles doesn't necessarily, it's more of a backwater until modernity because it requires the water brought in because of the Hoover Dam for Los Angeles and most of California to thrive, beyond being, the gold rush area. But once the Hoover Dam is in, then obviously then you get to see, and there's quite a few movies about early Los Angeles, obviously Chinatown being one of the greatest of, early California. I'm not actually sure if that one's set in Los Angeles or San Francisco. In any case, an early San Francisco movie would be great. Dallas, Toronto, and even London, when it was Londinium under the Romans. To see that city grow through time would be amazing. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but this movie is a particular type of movie where the city is a character in itself, and it drives a lot of the conflict by the way that the city is made up. Not just of the buildings and the roadways or lack thereof, but also the people that inhabit that city. And it's just an amazing movie that you have to check out. Hey everybody, this has been 365 Days of Movies. We're going to keep plowing ahead. So let me know what you think of this movie, and if you want to discuss it further, comment below. If I get a lot of interest, I may very well make a full review of the movie, maybe even a video essay. So let me know what you think, and let's get to the next one.